Today's task is to fill the holes in the walls before I paint. And because this is plywood, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a two-part Plastibond, in this case it's called, for a filler. Obviously there's different types of brands and so on, and I'm certainly not recommending a particular brand, but I'm just saying I'm using a two-part one, two-pack one. And once that's done, I'll sand it down and it should be basically ready for the paint. Alright, so I've just finished filling the holes. Not sure if you can see that, but they're all now filled up where necessary. And the next steps are now to effectively sand it down once it's dry. My idea is now to do all the cutting first, and it's going to be interesting because I'll have to do the cutting for a certain wall. So say for example I'll do this wall here first. I'll have to cut it in again within 5 minutes, and then I'll have to repeat the process for the next wall and so on right through. Once I've done all that, then I'll actually apply the roller. And so the roller will be the same thing, you know, apply a certain section, and I'll have to calculate roughly about what's going to be 5 minutes worth of painting before I need to kind of go back to the original spot and start painting again. So that's the plan. Right, I just finished the cutting in. It's taken me about 3 hours to do. Using a fine quality type brush. You can see there, well, hopefully you can see how it's kind of like self-leveling, is that? Although mind you, though, I do have a few imperfections, like a couple of runs and so on. But you can see here, barring the imperfections obviously of the actual laminate, it's actually quite not bad. Very, very high gloss, which kind of makes me a bit worried because I'm thinking it's going to show up all the imperfections. But so be it. So it's been a couple of weeks since I've painted the cutting, and because it's pretty cold at the moment here in Tassie, I've decided to give it a quite a bit more time to cure. I'm using this product. I think I've showed you before. Not that I'm endorsing this or anything else. It's just the one that I've just selected, which has that wet on wet application. So you paint, and then before 5 minutes is up, you paint the top coat. No undercoat required. So from a financial perspective, for me anyway, it's been a better buy. So today we're going to finish it off. All right, so part way through is the walls first. I'm not doing the cupboards yet. There you go. That's the contrast between the original and the white. Right, I'm almost done. I've painted the walls, the cupboards. The only two I've got left is that front cupboard and this cupboard. So effectively all the walls are done now. Even though I've got a lot of experience with painting, painting houses and so on, I've never used this product before, and I've never certainly painted inside a caravan. And there's a number of things that I think I've stuffed up. Now, the first one is that this particular paint, this one here, has a wet on wet application that I've mentioned beforehand, which means that basically you've got to apply the second coat after the first one within 5 minutes. Now, earlier I showed you how I did all the cutting first. I did all the edges first, and I let that dry for 2 weeks. And now, of course, now I've painted the walls themselves. I think that was an issue. I shouldn't have let that dry, because now it's created a discernible line where the original paint, and it's also created a whole heap of imperfections here. So I'm not really happy with the quality. I mean, I know that it's something that I've probably stuffed up. I should have done the cutting in and also the wall at the same time. But the other thing I'm a bit miffed is that, and you probably see it here, there, you'll see the number of runs down the wall. Now, because of the wet on wet, I'm seeing heaps more now, as you would. because of the wet on wet, what's effectively done is that it's become too thick, the paint, and it has decided to run, even though I was very meticulous to make sure that the roller didn't have too much paint on it, that it was sufficient there to create a nice coat. However, you know, when I go back to the original location, there's a run there. So this 5 minute, you know, in between the first and second coat situation isn't, in my mind, isn't the best in cold weather. Clearly it hasn't had enough time to set before applying the second coat, even though I waited 5 minutes. And as a result, it has run. I probably should have waited 10 minutes or something like that, but you know, anyway, that's how it goes. So anyway, regardless, I think the outcome has been quite nice. I like the white. The other half certainly likes the white. And so what my aim is now is basically to try sanding back, a light sand, to get rid of all the imperfections, to get rid of the cutting, to get rid of the excessive paint that has flowed. And also there's a whole lot of patches as well. So I'll do that, and once I've finished it all, then I'll do a final vid on it. And that won't be probably for another 3 or 4 weeks at least, which by then we're heading right into winter. So anyway, we'll see how we go. Anyway, if you've got any suggestions about this paint, if you used it before, I'll be happy to hear about it, or any other advice you may have. But as always, thanks for watching.